Hello, my name is Dr. Mike Brovchek. I am the Director of the Cybersecurity Education and Research Center here at the University of Wyoming. Normally, if you'd be here on campus, we'd give you a tour, but unfortunately we can't do that. So I'm going to do a virtual one for you real quick, and then I'm going to get to the good stuff and let some students show off some of the work that they've done in the past couple months. All right, with that, let's take a look. All right, so in this space, we have some communal spaces for students to just come in and have meetings, talk to one another, a place where we have a lot of our undergraduate students come in and visit everybody else. We have space for our researchers in here, so there's actually a setup for 9 individual workstations right now along the center part, all of these with whiteboard desks. In the back, we actually have some flexible workstations where we'll have students working on things dealing with microcontrollers and FPGA development boards and things like that. We also have equipment in various states. So we actually have a 3D printer here that's currently being repaired. We have access to equipment to do measurement of devices. As computer scientists, while we care about what we code, we actually care about what they are coded on and how things function. We are always looking to break into devices so that we know how to harden them later. So that's a quick tour of the physical lab space. And with that, we'll turn it over to some students to talk about their research. We are the Cybersecurity Education and Research Center at the University of Wyoming. We are proudly funded by many organizations, including National Science Foundation, National Security Agency, Department of Defense, Idaho National Labs, Microsoft, many others. Jorge Chan, the creator of PhD Comics, created this nice cartoon that describes some of our work. You can check it out on our website, uwyo.edu/CEDAR. We are comprised of many researchers, 6 PhDs, 3 master's students, a handful of alumni, and many undergraduates. I'm going to talk about several projects.
BestTrip is a lightweight distributed peer-to-peer communication protocol. The agents determine who to talk to in a given round based on their ID, the total number of agents, and the round number. However, when different cliques of agents are co-located, agents may accidentally communicate with an agent from another clique, especially when they are first instantiated. These miscommunications are shown in red lines here, while valid communications are shown in green. We have investigated mitigating actions for this problem, namely starting the agents with a random key, using a clique ID to ensure dissonance between IDs, and modifying the protocol to use non-sequential IDs. Sharks is a lightweight distributed movement protocol that allows agents such as UAVs to circle a target without exchanging information with one another. Each agent uses the distance to their nearest neighbor and their distance to the target to make their next move, ensuring all agents end up in a stability region and forming a rotating perimeter. This research also includes malicious agents that aim to disrupt the Sharks protocol by corralling the valid agents, thus capturing a significant portion of the perimeter. The valid agents, noticing a change in their nearest neighbor distance, attempt to hop over the malicious agents, using the rotation of the protocol to reclaim the stability region. Let's talk about QUIRK, Quantifying Information Risk. Machine learning models are everywhere. We use them basically anytime we want to detect a pattern. We usually use pre-built libraries, and we don't necessarily look under the hood to see what they do. The question is, how secure are those models? How private are they? How trustworthy are they? And how reliable are they? Otherwise known as confidentiality, integrity, and availability. What if you had a machine learning model, and you could put it through some sort of process, and get back out the good, the bad, and the ugly? In other words, could you quantify that information risk? Or better yet, could you quantify information risk, and also get out a more secure model?
Physics-guided machine learning is a project that aims to answer the question, how does the incorporation of physics and chemistry formula and the data generated by these formula help improve anomaly detection capabilities? Using a dataset from a simulated water distribution test bench that contains 14 days of normal observation of the test bench's 130 different sensors, as well as 2 days worth of observation while under attack. Preliminary work is underway using traditional time series forecasting and anomaly detection techniques, using only the original data to provide a baseline of comparison for the next steps, which are the generation of theoretical values from the physics and chemistry formula, as well as the development of a neural network that incorporates these equations into its training period.
Hi, my name is Josh, and I'm a master's student in the CEDAR lab. And I'm going to take a quick minute to talk about some of the research that I've been working on over the last year regarding genetic algorithm-based poisoning attacks on machine learning models. So, the big problem that I'm trying to solve with my research is machine learning is extremely powerful and a popular way to automate tasks which would otherwise be very difficult or even impossible. However, machine learning is vulnerable to poisoning attacks, and our current methods to detect and handle them are pretty limited. So with that, my aim is to highlight just how easy it is to compromise machine learning model prediction with poison data, which I am generating using the genetic algorithm. And in this regard, I'm kind of acting like the bad guy, but I'm doing so to help incentivize further research into more robust models, which are capable of not only detecting the presence of poisoning attacks, but correcting model learning away from any mislearning from the poison data once detected. So just a quick diagram. Traditionally, we have our labeled data, which we then send to a computer to generate a machine learning model. But what I'm doing is intercepting this labeled data and running it through the genetic algorithm to generate poison data, which will then be trained from and generate a poison model. And the idea is that because we don't know whether or not these models are performing well or not, we're just going to kind of trust the prediction that they give us. And the idea is this is very dangerous if we have a poison model which was trained from bad data, because its prediction is not going to be very good. However, we're not going to know this. So just a quick demo of what I have working so far. On this specific data set, as we can see here, with the results, what I'm able to do is by adding an increasing number of poison data to the model and then retraining it, we can see that I'm actually able to skew the results of it and increase the amount of false negatives that our model will produce while decreasing the amount of true positives that the model will produce, which could have some very bad effects depending on the specific domain and what particularly the model is trying to predict.
SpyHunter is a continuous authentication system using keystroke dynamics. Most authentication systems are based off of a password, where the user can have free run of the system after they have been validated. In a continuous authentication system, they are continuously monitored to make sure that they are a valid user. Traditional keystroke dynamics rely on the keys that are being pressed. However, adversaries with access to these logs can recover sensitive information. SpyHunter does not rely on the actual key being pressed. Instead, it relies on the cadences of the person typing. SpyHunter is a free text authentication system built on two one-class SVM models. It's trained on genuine user data and uses time cadences that provide low-level error checking. It was tested on 20 users running SpyHunter in the background. The false rejection rate and false error rate were both near 2%. Future work includes spoofing these models.
One of the things we've been working on this summer is an independent study on cryptography. So something that we've done so far is written some code that can break a repeating key XOR cipher. So the code basically, first it figures out how long the key is likely to be using a edit distance algorithm. And then it splits it into blocks and does an English character frequency analysis on each of those blocks to figure out what the individual parts of that key are, and then it combines that all together and decrypts it. So you can see this is what our ciphertext looked like in base 64 encoding, and then if we run that through our program, you can see that our program decrypted it. So it figured that the key length in this case was 29, that the key itself was Terminator X, Bring the Noise, and the plain text is some sweet lyrics to 90s hip hop.
Want to find out more about CEDAR? Check us out online at uwyo.edu/CEDAR, or email us, or check us out on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at UW CEDAR. Thanks again.